Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Come on in, wherever you are, wherever you're located. Comment down below as we wait on people to come on in. Let's see who we got in the room.
It's a Friday night, too.
Yes, Friday night. We're going into Mother's Day weekend. So let's see who's willing to join us tonight for this amazing time and conversation that we're going to have. So let's see. How did I get left with a mini me? How did I get left with a mini me? Where'd it go? So let's see. All right. So we are live. Come on in, you all, as we talk about how to overcome fear as a mother, a parent, a guardian, whatever you are, how to overcome fear. But before we jump all the way in and we get started, I want you to comment below your city and state. Tell me where you are located, where you are from, so we know where you're coming on in. And welcome to all of our first timers. And that's actually interesting because if this is your first time with being with us tonight, I want you to comment below. It's my first time. It's my first time. So that way we can get situated and we can get settled. So let's see who we got in the room as we are coming on in. All right, I see Killeen, Texas, Mississippi, Westland, Mississippi. All right, y'all may meet some of your next door neighbors down below. Dallas, Texas, the DMV, Oxon Hill, Maryland. Yes, come on in. Northern California. And if you know another mother, as we're waiting on you all to come on in, because we're not going to really dive in until we hit maybe 150. All right. So if you know another woman, I want you to comment and tag her below. If you know another mother, a mother who is struggling maybe in this area with overcoming fear for her children as a parent, I want you to just tag her down below and say, check this out. All right. Just tell her to check this out so she can be able to see. But as we're waiting on in, Ma, you kick off. Introduce yourself. What are we doing? I don't know how you gave it to me. This is your live.
Go get my battery charger, but you was doing such a great job just welcoming them in. Ariel, we are over 100, but I know that there are mothers all across the globe, and I can honestly say, as a mother, that we have some fears. Okay, so we're not going to come in here with denial. We're not going to come in here like it's perplexing us and it's keeping us in bondage, but we are going to come in here and say, let's acknowledge the truth, because the truth shall make me free. And that means I'm going to go through processes that is going to cause my mind, my heart, my soul to walk at a level of freedom, because I'm not going to be in denial. Ariel, we got some things going on in our world. We got some things going on in communities. You know, you just never know, because the enemy is roaming rampant.
Yeah.
He's relentless. He never stops. But at the end of the day, I have to understand who I am. I got to know how to fight. I got to know my spiritual warfare. I got to know the enemy that coming after the seed of the man that caused me to give life. Ain't that amazing?
Yeah, I think that's where you alluded to last night.
Yeah.
Because that was a major breakdown. So those who weren't here last night, I want you to just repeat what you just said again.
Every sperm has an enemy. That's what I said last night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every sperm, because that is seed. I'm looking at you, Ariel, as my daughter, and you are your father's seed. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize that there is an enemy that wants to snatch you, your mind, your life, your heart, your soul, but he can't win because I'm here. The mother is here. The mother is here. Yeah. And that's why we're celebrating. So
I'm celebrating right now. Yes. So if you're a mother and you're listening and you are right here, I want y'all to comment down below. The mother is here. All right. Whether you understand fully what she's talking about or not, you are proclaiming as a mother that you are here, that you understand, or maybe you don't understand, or you're going to get some understanding about how the enemy is after your seed. After your child, right? Who is a seed, who comes from the sperm of man.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you are here. All right. So if you are
I
here,
see
comment
it.
down
I
below.
see it. I see Renee said the mother is here. Laura, Michelle, Sandra, the mother is here. Saleha, the mother is here. Come on now. And Ariel, you know
Yes.
what? Let me just share with you all, as they really continuously get to know us, you know what I'm saying, for who we are in the kingdom of God and why God has given us such a responsibility. But we have to really understand that God, I can't even imagine what was on his mind when my mother conceived me. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
even I can't even imagine. I can't imagine what he had in mind. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about the omnipotent one. I'm talking about the omniscient one. I'm talking about the one who said, let there be, and there is now, day and night, stars in the sky, moon in the sky. We're walking the earth. He said, let there be. You know what I'm saying? Then he said, let us make man. And out of all that, we're here. So at the end of the day, what did he have in mind when he caused your mother to conceive? What did he have in mind when he caused me to conceive you, Ariel? What did he have? Have you ever thought about that?
Mm. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just noticed. I was wondering, like, why is Christina doing weird faces? And I noticed she's doing every face that
Because you know
that I was doing. Yeah, I was like, and then like I saw her facial reaction doing the same thing. But no, that is true. Like, what did the enemy have in mind? And I think that we really all need to. First off, I want that to be the first thing that you really meditate on. Today as you're listening to this
what
live
did God
tonight.
have in mind that the enemy is trying to prevent?
Oh yeah, I think I said,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
did
yeah. What
God
did
have
God
in mind?
have in mind? Now the
Yes,
enemy don't
yes,
know, but he
yeah,
knows who our creator is. Now that he does know.
yeah,
Matter of fact, he got a better relationship with him than you do. Because at the
yeah,
end of the day, Satan was created by God.
yeah.
He was a
So
cherubim.
the
He was an angel.
question is, what did God have in mind?
The question, yes,
Yes. What did
yes.
God have in mind?
And now, and even before I go to you, what did God have in mind for as I conceived you? But what did God have in mind when He conceived me for you?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I just believe that it's bigger than washing clothes, going to work, feeding you, giving you things, running you here and there, school, ballet, da da da, all these things to try to keep you safe. When at the end of the day, I got to pursue a higher purpose because the fear is really underlying.
Now that is okay. That's a thought-provoking question
It is.
for everyone, whether you are a mother watching this or not, because that question even made me have to think about me as a soon-to-be mother one day.
Yeah,
That what did God have in mind when I was conceived for my children that's to come? That is a whole nother different ballgame. And if a lot of single young women really thought like that,
correct.
we wouldn't. I don't think any woman would be just popping out a whole bunch of
But,
kids.
but the thing is that every life is ordained. Every
Yes,
life. I don't care if it was a
it would
one night
be.
stand. I don't
Yeah,
care if it was you divorced. I don't care if it happened in the backseat of the car. No matter how, when, and what, and who, that life is ordained. And I know, Ariel, that your father was the first man that I was with, but he
yeah,
chose that seed. He
yeah,
chose that sperm. He chose that to come forth. And I got to know how to fight.
yeah. And that's the thing. I don't think we would just be popping out just because. It would
No.
be with knowing an intention, knowing a reason behind it. But before we dive into tonight's topic, I don't think we introduced ourselves. We was going to introduce ourselves when we got to 150. But for those who do not know who we are, right? I'm like looking at this. Those who do not know who we are, I'm Ariel. This is my mom, Pastor D. We are the co-owners of Black and Married with Kids and Dunamis Woman Enterprise. And so wherever it is that you are streaming and you are watching this, welcome, welcome, welcome. But this is going to be an opportune time as we're bringing both of our communities together to really empower mothers, empower women who are going through. As Mother's Day is coming up, we decided to really do something in honors of mothers as we close out this powerful month, and we have some amazing surprises coming up.
Yes.
So for the rest of this week, all right, I'm just giving you all the schedule. Last night you talked about the fight for my legacy. And for the rest of this week, we are going to really be addressing the 4 big things that grip a woman's heart when she is fearful, when the enemy is really coming after her children, when her children are going through struggles. And so those who saw the video, I sent out a video, and if you haven't watched it, maybe I'll text it out again. So make sure you text us at 404-737-0580. I'll probably text out tomorrow. But these 4 things that we're addressing is 1, mothers get gripped with fear. When the enemy is attacking their children or they're going through life, we get gripped with frustration. I'm saying we like I'm a y'all, right? The second thing you said was frustration. The third thing you said was feeling like a failure, right? And lack of forgiveness. And all week, we're going to be addressing these things and empowering you in how to stand in faith as a mother. So tonight, we're talking about how to overcome the fear, all right? How to overcome the fear. And so you're going to be with us all week, all right? Leading up to this, I want you to comment below. I'm going to be with y'all. I'm going to be with y'all. I'm going to be with y'all, all right? Because we're going to really hit it hard for mothers and honors of Mother's Day. I know we're going to honor you all, but I do think that mothers are silently dealing with a lot of these things. And although Mother's Day is such a rejoicing time, I'm just speaking from what I can perceive, that for some mothers out here, it could also be a time of, I would say heavy grievance, but grievance when you really are gripped with heaviness in your heart for your children.
And many of us, all of us probably don't even know what all of that entailed when we conceived. None of us really knew. I know I didn't. Let me just speak for myself. But Ariel, I just firmly believe that everyone is a mother, including yourself, whether you have given birth or not. Giving birth doesn't make you a mother, because there's a lot of women who have given birth. It doesn't take that occupancy, but the ability to have a womb and the ability to know how to spiritually fight based upon that womb and that hollow place, someone take occupancy in your heart. So like Christina, she is your niece. This baby right here, that's mimicking you. You know what I'm saying? She is your niece. And let me ask you this question. Is there some type of fear based upon the future that you may have, which is why you guide and play the best TT there is in her life?
Yeah, that's why I really, when we do stuff for, like, how we're doing stuff specifically for mothers, I think I was saying earlier before we even came on, a lot of women, young women or women in general, will say, well, I'm not a mother, so this doesn't apply to me. And I beg to differ, because like you said, every woman has a mothering within her.
Correct.
Whether
Correct.
I've actually physically birthed a child or not, there's a mothering instinct that is within me. And so when I think about legacy, when I think about Christina, when I think about, Genesis, which is my nieces, yeah, I'm auntie, I'm TT, but then there's still but that part of me that that has fear for her, that part of me that wants to protect her, is that mothering part of me, right? Now, am I her natural physical mother? No, but at the end of the day, when I look at her, I am fearful in some areas, right? There are some things that come up. And I think that when we always think so black or white, that's one way that we really stay ignorant to certain things that are happening within our heart, our mind, our soul, in the kingdom, because we always think so black or white. Well, I ain't married, so it don't apply to me. Well, I'm not a mother, so it don't apply to me. Well, I'm not an aunt, so it don't apply to me. Well, I'm not a sister. I'm like, what? When the nation that you may be called to it's going to be a plethora of people. So it's like, don't count. If y'all agree with me, just say, don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Because there are women listening to this right now who are not mothers, and I commend you.
And I could honestly say, before we go into the topic of tonight of how to overcome the mother's fear, Ariel, God is looking for wombs. WOMBS. Wombs.
Mm-hmm.
You have a womb. If you were born female, you have a womb. And that womb can always feel the heart of another child. If you're a teacher, that means you're occupying a space of a mother in that classroom. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
daycare provider, you're operating in the space of a mother in the classroom. If you are in
Yeah.
the grocery store and you see a child in harm's way, you want to step in and say, wait a minute, baby, where's your mother? Or don't hurt yourself, because you're stepping in the occupancy of a mother. Does that make sense? And like you said, we can't be black and white. And as I talked about last night, it takes a village. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the breakdown of our children, rather, no matter how old they are, is that we are all taking occupancy as a village. As a spiritual mother, I have spiritual daughters who are chronologically older than me, but just because foundations wasn't laid, I'm still standing in the gap with their mother,
Yeah.
deceased or alive. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make anyone good or bad. At the end of the day, we can't do this alone. What I can't do
Yeah.
naturally, somebody can come do spiritually to occupy that place that you needed in your heart and your soul spiritually. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Teach me. And I think that this is what all of us are saying. Teach me. If you all are saying that with your own self, teach me, oh Lord, teach me. You know,
Yeah.
David said it in Psalms 119. Teach me your ways, teach me your statute, teach me how to war, teach me how to fight, teach me how to stand in the gap, teach me how to pray, teach me. And I think that's a cry all the time for everybody. Teach me. Teach me
Yeah.
how to be an auntie. Teach me how to be a woman, whoever that is, and whatever that it looks like for your life. Teach me, Lord. So
Yeah.
I think that's the first step of what we all have to come to grips with. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I birth children, don't mean I know what I'm doing. Teach me.
No, and that's not a time when I want. I mean, I'm gonna learn, but that ain't the time that I want to be taught. I want to be taught before, as much as I can beforehand.
Mhm.
Then going in. So that's what I said. I commend anyone in our community that is having that understanding of teach me and that desire to be taught. Regardless. And so tonight you have something for how to overcome fear. So my fear that I have had has probably has not amounted close to the fears that you have had as a mother. So, where do you want to go with this one?
Where do you want me to go? Tell me what you want to know from me at this point as far as fear. Let me
One thing
let
I
you.
did, I thought you said you had a
You want to get
breakdown.
there, but you want to. I
But one
want
thing that I wanted to know, what I thought of, I was like, I wonder if she
to.
had any. You always talk about the fears that you had for Allison because she's like the rebel child. But I was like, I wonder if you had any fears for me when I was a child. Like, and I don't say Allison was a rebel child, but you always talk about your fears with her. But I'm like, have you ever had a real strong grip with fear when it comes to myself? I don't know. I was
Yeah.
curious. I want to know.
Because you are, both of you all are gifted in your own way. Both of you all are intelligent, but you are more like myself in ways of being headstrong. You are like myself in ways of being stubborn. You know how to step in and just do what you want to do, how you want to do it. The biggest part of fear as a mother is that we see ourselves in our children. So the fear is that me seeing myself in you and saying, man, does she got to go down the same path? Man, does she have to encounter the same pain? That fear is still prevalent now, which makes me want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I've
Mm-hmm.
been in places where I don't want you to experience that same thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want your life to take a major turn at 50 years old like mine did. So the humility is what I fight for. God, humble her. God, teach her your ways, teach her your statutes, because I don't know who said that about me, but I see myself in you. And sometimes when we can be so gifted and I was entrepreneurial, business, never had a job, just a go-getter, feisty. I see that in you. But God had something for me that shifted my life. He didn't punish me, but I see the fact, Ariel, but I also had to go through some pain. I don't know who you're going to attract in a man. I don't know what you're going to attract in a man. I don't know what's going to come up. You know what I'm saying? When you have your own husband and your own children. But I do know, God, does she have to go through some things that I went through? Is she going to have to face some of the stuff that I had to face to cause me to have the anointing that I have, to cause me to see demon trembles the way that I see them, to cause me to cast out devils when I say, you're going to come out, you come out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that you just look at that. So that's not a fear like, ooh, I'm scared. But in a sense, I am, because I knew what pain it took. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And life is never
Yeah.
going to be hunky-dory. Nobody. And so we all got to come out of denial that you see yourself in your children. If you really in tune with yourself, you see that stubbornness. You see those ways that you have. You know what you did with your mama. You know how you lied to your mama. You know what you did undercover. So at the end of the day, things don't get away from us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you talked about that in the video about facing the reality, but you also mentioned, how sometimes we're gripped with fear because it would now put more responsibility on you as a mother. Such as like you were saying, if Allison were to pass away, who would take care of the grandchildren, right? Or if something were to happen, you're really fearful because of the greater responsibility that you would have to take on as a mother. So speak to that a little bit.
It's not only just with children. I'm the type of person, and I learned this, from hearing the late Dr. Miles Monroe, but it's fair. And I thought I was crazy when I heard it, but he really confirmed it. He said, you always expect the best and you prepare for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to have children for me to want to raise them. Ariel, I expect the best for your life, but God, what if she leave this earth before me? So this may be too heavy for some people who live, but I've already thought about your funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you're going to die. We all
Right.
going to die. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not expecting you to die, anytime soon. But you never know. Mothers have lost their children.
Yeah.
And so I don't never think that I'm better than. I don't never think that something can't come my way. I don't never think that life will take a turn. This is what I'm saying. So I have to prepare myself and don't let fear grip my heart, but me grip fear. And I think oftentimes we don't prepare for things, and the fear and the sting of fear that the enemy has caused to keep us stuck, depressed, and grieved, it captures us. When I am a person, as I know who I am in Christ, I'm not going to let fear grip me. I'm going to grip fear, because the reality of it is life can shift for all of us. And what is the worst that could ever happen is that you leave this earth and I got to bury you. So just as well as you was born, I already look at you if you got to die. I rejoice when you was born, and I got to look at you if you leave this earth before me. How am I going to handle this? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think mothers go around thinking about that, but I'm talking about me. And I don't know, is Ariel going to die? But life can easily take a turn for all of us. Even yourself, for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like someone had comment below, they lost their son when he was 14, years old. And I think someone else had comment, how do you really deal with the cries and the tears at night, as it relates to your child? And, for those circumstances, which I'm sorry to hear about those circumstances, I really want to think about how can we, two things. One, not shift our mind so that fear doesn't take a grip on us, right? When it does take place. Because like for you, you already said, okay, well, I've already planned your departure from this earth, even though it
Mhm.
hasn't even happened yet. Now, that doesn't mean that
Mhm.
you're not going to feel the hurt, the pain, the emotions,
Correct.
whatever the case
Correct.
may be, but you
Correct.
put yourself in a mind, in a position that although you always say, I'm going to outlive you and Allison, right? I'm going to
Mhm.
live.
Mhm.
I don't ever want you all to bury me. But at the end of the day, you still prepared your mindset to
I'm a
say,
seven.
if that was not to happen, what would this be? Instead of worrying with fear, constantly about, okay, what is going to happen? What's going to happen? When's it going to happen? So you already shifted your mind so that you're not gripped with that fear, but more
Mhm.
so you are operating in faith and a good and fortitude to say, this is where I'm going to be if in the case of this ever happened. Does that make sense?
Correct. And when I think about it, I don't think about it to prepare for it. I think about it because I want to feel the agony now.
Mm-hmm.
So when it does, if that was to happen, the agony won't take me down. The agony, I can stand
Mm-hmm.
up in it now, not to rejoice and not to just feel, to not to dismiss the pain, but to not let the agony. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, fear, we are experiencing the agony of fear. Fear brings torment, fear brings agony. So,
Mm-hmm.
how do I grip fear? I let myself feel the agony before it happens. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
But
and most people don't think that way because they don't want to feel that agony, and I think the enemy blindsides us, but the principle of life is that we were all born to die.
yeah.
Who lives forever, and who knows their expiration date? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I don't know my expiration date. I don't know yours. I don't know anybody's. Does that make sense? I don't even know when Jesus is gonna return. So certain things you just ain't know.
Yeah. So, what about the mothers who are on here and the agony has already hit them, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
The passing, or whether the child is gone out the home, maybe he's still living, or he or she is still living, we don't know where they are. It could be so many different things that can cause fear. So, when you're already in the midst of the agony, you know what I'm saying? And you're already feeling the agony because your mind wasn't shift before the disruption or whatever took place, or your child going down a path that you never thought, it caught you completely off guard. How do you break through that agony and the fears of what's playing in your head about yourself or what's to come or have another child? I mean, there's so much different stuff that could take place.
And like someone is saying, they feel the agony now,
Mm-hmm.
but this is my life, okay? And I pray that it encourages someone. Is that I know that no matter what, He is my creator. He is my Lord. He is my heavenly Father. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my worship, I take my pain and worship. I don't sit and sulk in it. I've lost my mother. You know what I mean? But when I didn't feel the agony because I already knew, hell, I'm not selfish to hold on to her. I'm not selfish. Everybody's going to leave here. I just have a different mindset. So even in the loss of it, I still take what I feel in worship. God, I know that you're real. I know that you're the author and the finisher of my faith. I know that you are the giver of life. I know that you are the one who has the birth date and the expiration date. So I yield myself to you. I'm not God. And my mother was not God, and I'm not putting her in a place of God. And I don't want you to put me in the place of your God. Take it to our God and worship Him for what I experienced. And what I do now is look at the days that I did have and what she put inside of me. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. And I think that goes back to the original question that you
Mhm.
had proposed before we even started, was what did God have in mind when we were conceived? Because I
Yeah.
think that we put so much agony into another life instead
Mhm.
of putting actually admiration and appreciation for our life. because we lose our life for other people. But really, when we take a step back and really think about what did God have in mind when I was conceived, although I may be a sister at a certain moment, although I may be a mother at a certain period of time, although I may be an aunt at a certain period of time, but when I have in my mind and I seek out to God, what did you have in mind when I was conceived? Thanking him for the opportunity in the space that he allowed me to have in these roles, but that's not my whole life. And the agony, I think, immediately takes you out of the admiration for your own life of what's to live. You know, I think about when we think about the 5 young Black men who were put in prison because of a crime that they didn't commit.
Correct.
And the inaugurated 5, and how many mothers couldn't even watch that film on Netflix because it just gripped them with so much fear. But when I think about how they portrayed those mothers and how some of those mothers stood on behalf of their sons being in prison for a crime that they know they didn't commit, but it was some of them still stood in the power and the purpose of their life, although they were still fighting for their son's life. But it was like, I got something to fight for. I have something that I can bring to the table. Now it wasn't all of them, but the very few was like, I'm going to actually use my voice, use my message, use who I am. And so I think that, we have to really think about that fight that we have, like you talked about, the fight for your legacy, whether they're still here or not, you still represent the fight.
Yeah, you do. And you have to fight. Because, Ariel, I believe this is it. We have over 200 something women, I believe, that's watching. It may be some men, I don't know. But regardless of it, I believe that God had in mind for all of us that are watching, including myself, that he wants us on this earth as agents of change.
Yeah.
And as agents of change, we birth powerful sons and daughters. You are an agent of change. And people who are agents of change have to go through some hell. Agents of change has to feel what other people feel in order for change to occur. Now, we don't have to know what to do with it, because typically nobody's not teaching us about how to be an agent of change. Does that make sense? So even for myself, knowing that I'm an agent of change, you are an agent of change, this granddaughter is an agent of change, I have to prepare myself for whatever's going to come that way, because change ain't easy. And as an agent of change, you got to go through hell for change to occur. So now I am going to now say, fear, you're not going to grip my heart. I don't know what's going to come, but I know who I am.
Yeah.
And that's the key. And I want all of you all, if I can ever encourage you tonight, to say, I don't know what's going to come, but I know who I am. And we have been conditioned to look at what and not who. What has happened? What is taking place? What is going on? What is this? What is that? And I don't really think about who I am. What breeds fear? Who breeds faith? And that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. And I know that God did not just make me a mother to say, oh, I raised you all. Toodaloo, you got a wonderful degree. You got a job. I'm not dismissing that. But there's more, because we're living in perilous times.
Yeah.
So if God wanted you born in 1960, Ariel, you would have came through another womb at that time. You could have been my mother. Have you ever thought about that? Now you try to act like you're my damn mama, but at the end of the day, if he wanted you born in 1960, you could have been my mother and I could have been your daughter. But he said, no, this is how I want it.
What if we all were born in 1960, but we came back as a different form and a human being?
What if you was born in 1700, 1800 and you came back? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know what? I believe that I carry the spirit of my ancestors. I don't know how far back.
Saying, like, what if we were? What if a part of us was, and we still carry the spirit of that now?
I see the spirit of my mother in her. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I see her fight sickness, but God chose her for such a time as this. That's why I can't let fear grip my heart. I have to help Allison. I can't train her, but I help Allison train her and develop her as the prophetess, like Angie said, prophetess. She was born looking around. When she was born, her head was up and she was looking around. The Holy Spirit wants me to see so I can know how to be the grand, not the mother, but the grand. Does that make sense? That means I got some experience, I got some wisdom, I got some knowledge that I got to keep bestowing on generations to come. And that's what my fight is about. Because what we was fighting back then, we ain't fighting the same demons now. Them some vicious ones. They bold. These bastards are bold.
So how do we overcome, the fear and your own, because we got a lot of things coming up. We got a huge surprise for Mother's Day, and I'm gonna tell you about how y'all can find out about this surprise on Mother's Day, because we're not just doing this for no reason. We got something huge for many mothers to participate in. So should I tell y'all now how to get notified of the surprise? Or maybe I should wait to the end. I don't know. I may tell y'all now. Just depends on the comment.
Because by the time we talk about this acronym, it's going to be time to jump on off of here, because tonight is Friday night, and I know that people are ready to get in that bed. So let's go. Tell them how to get a notification.
Okay, if you want to know the surprise, all right, that we're going to text out on Mother's Day, all right, it's going to be the best gift that we have for you all for Mother's Day. Not tangible. Maybe, I don't know, but it's going to be the best gift. So I want you to text the word surprise. All right. Text the word surprise to 404-737-0580. That's 404-737-0580. All right. So if you want to be notified, Renee said, "Ooh, I love gifts. This is going to be an awesome gift." An awesome gift, right? So text the word surprise to 404-737-0580. Don't forget to do it. Text it now. And you'll be notified on Mother's Day what the big surprise is. All right. So make sure you all do that. But then we're going to go back. I'll remind you all again if we have some people pop on afterwards. But okay, what's this acronym? Because I'm curious.
Well, it's really fear. I love words, Ariel. So I just take the word fear, since we are teaching mothers how to overcome fear. I just took the word, and I really went deep into my own heart, my own mind, and I really reflected, seeing that you are 33, Allison 35. I know mothers are here with older children, but at the end of the day, a mother is a mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I took the acronym and I just looked at my life. You know what I'm saying? And the more that I fight, which is the F, the more my mind becomes fortified. I'm not going to quit. I never get comfortable. I don't quit. I can't say, "Oh, wow, she's on her own now. Let me go somewhere and sit down." No, I recognize that the enemy is relentless, and I'm going to stay relentless. He don't quit, and I ain't going to quit. And now that I'm a grand, I have to even become more fortified,
so
because
keep going.
because there's some things that has to be passed down and taught even the more.
So are you saying that when we're gripped with fear, that is literally just an awakening of the fight and the warrior within us? It's almost like waking you up to say, "Hey, I need your inner fight to come out now. I need your inner warrior to come out now." And instead of giving room and energy to the fear, we really need to be looking at how that flame of that fight has now been sparked to say, "God, show me what I need to do. Show me how I need to fight. Show me what I need to, how do I need to position." It like awakens you. But see, if you don't understand that, if you don't see, because what fear does is it makes it be like a big bush and fire.
Yeah, and fear makes you back up. See, it wants you to back
up. And when that big bush and fire, when that fire, you go, woo, woo, right? But then but if you really notice, the fire is going to come down at some point, and it's going to be that little flame, and then you're going to lean in and be like, "What happened here?" And oftentimes we run from the fear instead of recognizing that it was a little flame
Yeah.
that actually lit that whole thing in our
Yeah.
soul and our heart and our
Yeah.
mind. That's
Uh-huh.
saying, I got to fight. I got to actually now be fortified
That's
because
right.
this fear came to awaken me in some area.
Yes. Yeah. And you got to lean into the burn. Just like I work out with
Mm-hmm.
your cousin, and he's a MMA, you know what I'm saying? But he's teaching me professional boxing, but it ain't the boxing, it's my mind. And one thing he always tell me, he said, you lean into the burn. He said, don't you when that burn is there, you go in. Most people, that's when they let up. So the enemy wants your mind to
Mm-hmm.
weaken when you feel the fear, you feel the burn, you feel the adversary, and you better lean in. You know what I'm saying? Fortify your
Mm-hmm.
mind. Fortify your mind. I'm standing, and you ain't gonna have my legacy. Now I can't do nothing
Yeah.
for Angie. I can't. I really, realistically, seriously, I can't do anything for any other mother. I can't do anything. I can stand with her. Yes, I can. I could fight with you, but literally, you have been assigned that legacy that you gotta fight. Bottom line.
Right. Right.
And I don't think I'm speaking from a pastor standpoint, but I'm also speaking from a mother standpoint. I don't believe that no pastor can pray and fight better than me as a mother. And that even includes myself. So don't come
Yeah.
over, pray for me, pray for me. No, you learn how to fight. Because when you can't call nobody, you better know I'm here to equip you. I'm here to teach you. Don't depend on me. Let me teach you so you can depend on yourself and God for your own legacy. So everybody got to
Mm.
have a trainer. Everybody got to have a coach. Everybody got to have a fight.
Okay. So what's the E?
The E is when I look at you all and I look at your idiosyncrasies, your lies, the things that you do undercover, I look at myself and I say, Davetta, you are the evidence of somebody else's faith. So if somebody wasn't fighting for me, you know how the old folks say, somebody pray for me. They wasn't just praying, they was fighting in the spirit. So I'm the evidence. Ariel, if God can keep me, he can keep you. That overcomes fear. When you all walk out that
Mm.
door, or when y'all go party and be with this guy, and you the main one, don't tell nobody where you're going, don't tell nobody where you are. You grown. I ain't gotta tell nobody. You got your nice little condo. You think you the it. You know what I'm saying? And nobody don't know what's going
Hey,
on.
I
Say,
haven't done anything in this condo besides eat some pizza, which I need to
it
get
don't matter.
tonight.
It don't matter. But at the end of the day, I had a condo too, and I was living by myself, beautiful with my braids in your hair at that point in age too. But if God kept me, he can keep you. And I'm telling this to every mother, look at your life. You are the evidence. You are the evidence of
Mm.
somebody else's fight. You're the evidence. And if he can keep you with all your
Yeah.
idiosyncrasies, with all your indiscretions, with all your shortcomings, with all your bull crap, he can keep your legacy. You just got to face the truth. And stop acting like you all this and all that because now you done grew out of it.
Mm.
I'm the evidence. And if he can keep me, Ariel,
Mm.
he can keep you. Because you can't do nothing better than I did already.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Well, you
true.
may be a couple of things. Y'all young folks got some stuff going on. Y'all need to teach me a little something about some stuff. And then the A, Ariel, we have to learn as mothers to overcome fear how to be righteously
I don't know what to
angry.
talk. Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to become angry, angry at the devil,
Mm.
angry at an enemy, angry. I'm not angry with you. I'm not angry with your father. I'm not angry with nobody. I'm angry at the enemy.
Mm. Mm. And
If
that
you,
anger, that righteous anger, should lead you to a righteous agony. Because the agony that oftentimes we experience is really a something that's really depressing and is putting us in a deeper place. But there is what I call and I'm kind of making it up like a righteous agony, but it's an agony to cry out to God in your anger, but it's not an agony that's like, oh, I'm defeated. But it's, I mean, when I think about how Jesus even had agony, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was still an agony that was still, how do I want to say, it was bestowing unto to God. What were you
Yeah,
saying?
but as a mother, you really have to understand how your anger is channeled. Let me use you for
Yeah.
instance. Ariel, you and Allison, you all are beautiful young women. And I know my fight to get you all where you are thus far, and I will continue to fight. But the enemy in this era of time will want you all to remain home alone without a covering, without a great man, and where you are just uncovered. That's not God's will. Not to say you gotta be married, but at the end of
Yeah.
the day, God made man and woman. And too many of us out here as women are uncovered. We just gotta be by ourselves. We got toys, we got dildos, we got all stuff. That I'm not settling for that. Now, I might not have been loved at your age the way that I require, but I'd be doggone if you're going to do like me. You're going to do greater. So my anger is saying, devil, you a liar. I don't care if God got to put another man to the dust, turn him around and make him just for you all. You all shall experience greater than what I've ever experienced. You see how that anger is? That's a righteous anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we got to put a man back to sleep and do a miracle in him. But you shall be loved. You shall not be divorced. You shall live according to his word. You shall reap the benefits of my sacrifice. Now that's my
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to fight for you no house or no car. You shall experience what I haven't experienced. I don't care if I don't never experience it at this point, but you shall experience it, and your children shall now do greater and greater and greater, and you shall not experience divorce. You will never be in the pain that I was in. You're going to have your own pain, but you ain't going to take mine.
Yeah.
Now, that's my anger. That's my righteous anger.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied. I don't care. You can have 5 condos. You can go get your braids every week. You can have your own bank account. But I know the order. I know what God did according to his word, and I want to see his word manifest in your life.
Yeah.
You got that? Now, I don't know what any other mother believe, because you may be satisfied. But at the end of the day, I ain't never satisfied until I see his word manifest.
Yeah.
And I don't want you
So,
to get some fluky nigga because you just got him. He shall be a man who knows your heart.
yeah. So in closing, what is the R? And for those who still need the number for the surprise that we're going to announce on Mother's Day, I want you to text surprise to 404-737-0580. I'm actually trying to put it up here, but text that number and the text the word surprise to that number. And we're going to tell you all what's the big surprise that we have for Mother's Day. But what's the R?
The R is every mother needs a revival. A revival is not where you just go to church and you run around and you shout and somebody put some oil on you and the matters of your life and your home has not changed. I'm talking about a revival, Ariel, that's going to cause you to be strengthened. A revival that's going to cause you to improve in your strength. Improve in your strength so you can continue to fight. Improve, because guess what? This is a fight. And there's no fight that you're going to ever have that you ain't going to get hit.
Yeah.
Man, that's just not realistic. You see what I'm saying? The whole goal is to get hit. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand how to fight. But at the end of the day, them hit took some strength out of me. So the revival is that I need to get some more strength. I need to enhance my own strength and what God has put inside of me. I need some improvement, some enhancement, some revival. Now, how many of you all in here can openly be honest and say, I need a revival? I need a revival. I need a revival. These grown kids, do you know grown kids can wear you out more than young kids? This baby ain't wearing me out. This baby, I tell her, go sit down. I run her. But these grown kids wear you out because they think they know what they're doing. They go out here, they get in all kind of stuff. They couple up with these demons. They think they know what they're doing, and then they want to come and bring you some problems. You need a revival. Because realistically, you go to bed worrying and wondering what the hell is going on, and they need a change because they ain't listening. They ain't listening. The older they get, the more they think they know, and then they try to tell you. I'm talking about you too. I need a revival. Everybody said they need a revival.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. It said, I need a revival. I need a revival. I need a revival. Well, you know, honestly, with that being said, you know, the surprise is going to be huge. I think the surprise is going to culminate a lot of the things that we just talked about tonight. And showing you how to be fortified, how to really be angry at the enemy, how to really understand the evidence of your faith, you know, and knowing that you're the evidence of your faith, and really bring that revival forth. So I don't want you all to sleep on this. All right. I pray that tonight has really blessed you, but know that we're going to continue this. This is not going to be the end. Tomorrow we're coming back to talk about, I can't remember. What's tomorrow's topic?
I think we're talking about overcoming frustration.
Frustration. Yeah, I think we're talking about frustration tomorrow. So if you guys are going to be with us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock as we talk about frustration, make sure you're here because, like I said, we got a major surprise, and we're going super hard for these next 4 days as we're really bringing this to light in honor of Mother's Day. So make sure that you are prepared and ready for that. But I think there's so much takeaways that we really could even have from tonight. So if y'all got some takeaways from tonight, just imagine what the surprise is going to be, okay? Just imagine what the surprise is going to be. So do me a favor, all right? If you got something from tonight, if you really, really said this blessed my soul as a woman, I want you to share this on your Facebook page. I want you to share this with another mother. I want you to share this. Do not let your own self receive this. Just hit the share button right now. If you are on our, Black and Miracle Kids Facebook page or Dunamis Women Enterprise Facebook page, and share it. All right, just share it with another sister and let them know that they need to be able to hear them. Or you could just tag them down below if you could think of their name right now, because I think there's so many people that need to really hear this, because like we said earlier, we're really gripped with fear for a lot of different things, and our mind really have to be shifted in a whole nother different area to overcome, because the reality is the world is not going to get it's not going to lessen on us anymore. It's not going to lighten up. The enemy is not going to lighten up. I know we say, hey, take it all away, but the reality is the way this world is going, it ain't getting no better. And either we're going to get knocked out or we're going to have to stand up.
And I'm grateful. There's many leaders, there's many instructors, there's many pastors, there's many mothers, there's a whole lot of everything. But I can only speak for me, Ariel. I'm grateful that I've been having to fight and experience the pain, insurmountable pain, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, rejection, all those things that has caused me to be the spiritual warrior that I am. And you all are the evidence of my warfare. You know what I'm saying? You all the evidence, and whatever you did and got into, it taught me how to fight. And so I don't want to just sit here and just say, oh, I'm fighting. I want all of us to fight. Just like I need a trainer naturally, we need a trainer spiritually. I go in that gym, I follow instructions and I train, and although it hurts and my body is aching, you know what I'm saying? We need that spiritually as well. When you spiritually fight, it don't feel good all the time. But this is why we need a revival. So this is my occupancy in the earth as a mother, as a leader, and I'm honored to be able to be with women who have like minds. Unfortunately, everybody don't want to fight, and that's just real talk.
No, that's real, real.
Yeah, they feel like God owes them something. So thank you for joining me, Ariel, and I look forward to seeing all of you all tomorrow night. It's going to be wonderful. I'm looking forward to being back with you, and let's get rid of some of these frustrations, because look, it's some revelation about the frustration, and I'm going to share it with you.
Okay? Yes. So we're going to see you all tonight. Enjoy your Mother's Day weekend as it begins. All right. Do something for yourself tomorrow and on Sunday. And we're going to see you all tomorrow night. Don't forget to share this with a friend. And don't forget to text 404-737-0580 if you want to be notified about the surprise. Don't say we didn't tell you, because we're telling you now. So make sure you text or write down your number or repeat it in your head as many times as you can until you could get off of here and you could actually text surprise. All right. So we love you all. Have a good rest of your evening and see you tomorrow.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.